Hello students, welcome to the Edupedia World videos. Today we are going to start with another important topic of biology, that is the animal tissues. In the previous class we discussed about what are plant tissues, how the plant cells combine to form the plant tissues, and what are the various functions of the various plant tissues. Now, the plants are not as complex bodies as the animals. Easily we can differentiate. We have the power of speech. We have the power of thinking. So the animal tissues have to perform more functions when compared to the plant tissues. So the animal tissues are more complex also than the plant tissues. Now let's see what is the definition of the animal tissues. Animal tissues, the grouping of the animal cells which are specialized to perform a particular function. So when the animal cells they combine to form the particular function, they are known as the animal tissues. Now what is the basic difference between the animal cell and the plant cell? That we have already discussed when we were discussing about the cells in the previous classes. So the various types of animal tissues are: first is the epithelial tissue. Now this epithelial tissue forms the covering of the animal body, and it also protects the animal body from the external surroundings. Next is the connective tissue. This connective tissue connects the various parts. See, the animal has to coordinate. The head has to coordinate with the legs. The head has to coordinate with the arms. So this coordination, this transportation, fine. So these connective tissue in the way help to connect one part of the body with another. Next is the muscular tissue. We have the power of movement, and this is the thing which demarcates us or differentiates us from the plants. So these muscular tissue, what they do, they help us to move from one place to another. They help the various body organs to move, like the eyelids. We are blinking the eyes, so the muscular tissue helps in the blinking. We are moving the hands while talking. This muscular tissue helps us to move the hands also. And last we have the nervous tissue. This nervous tissue is the most important type of tissue which comprises of the brain, the spinal cord, and this makes human being the supreme on the earth, because this helps to coordinate the whole body. Plus, this helps to pass the signals from one part of the body to another. So today we are going to start with the first type of tissue, that is the epithelial tissue. We understand this word first. Epi means upon, thele means nipple. So this is the tissue which is found above or upon the organs. The fundamental tissue that forms a continuous sheet on all the external and the internal surface of the animal body. This tissue covers each and every organ of the body, and that is why it helps to protect also, it helps to communicate also, and lastly it demarcates a boundary of the organ. So this type of tissue, because it is covering all the parts, that is why it is known as the covering tissue. Also, the epithelial tissue is the simplest type of all the tissues. Now let us see what are the various characters of the epithelial tissue. First of all, the epithelial tissues do not have any intercellular spaces. Now, they do not have any intercellular spaces like we have seen in the parenchyma of the plant cells. Secondly, they are held together by the various junctions and the cementing material. This gives the extra and the strong connection between the cells so that they can communicate very easily, they can pass the materials very easily. The epithelial layer forms a barrier for separating the different body systems. Now, the breathing system is very much differentiated from the digestive system, and the two two do not communicate with each other, yet they are coordinating. So the epithelial tissue, what it does, it forms a barrier so that it demarcates the organs and it marks their boundary. Now, this is the basic structure of the epithelial tissue. First of all, the epithelial tissue, it rests over the cellular layer of collagen fibers and the dense material which is known as the basement membrane. Now this layer is known as the basement membrane. And this basement membrane, it connects the epithelial tissue with the connective tissue. Now what does the connective tissue does? You can see the capillaries here. The epithelial tissue here, it requires the blood transport, and the connective tissue provides the blood as well as the nutrition to the epithelial tissues. Fine. So this is the basic structure of the epithelial tissue, and this epithelial tissue you are always going to find on the basement membrane. This basement membrane connects it with the connective tissue. As you can see, this is the blood vessels and the arteries found here. So next we are going to start with the functions of the epithelial tissue. Now the first and the most important function of the epithelial tissue is the protection. The epithelial tissue which is found on the surface of the organs, they protect the underlying tissues from the microbes. They also protect them from drying up. They protect them from the chemicals and various types of injuries. A similar function of protection is carried out by the epithelial tissue which is found in the mouth also, our nasal tract, as well as the alimentary canal. So first, when we discuss the protection, it protects us from the external environment. Next function of the epithelial tissue is the absorption. Some of the epithelial tissues, they have become more and more specialized, like the epithelial tissue which is found on the intestine. Now you basically know that the tissues which are found in the intestine, their main function will be the absorption of the food. You know the villi, they are made up of the type of epithelial tissues. So these intestinal epithelial tissues, they help in the absorption of the digested food which is digested by the stomach and other parts of the alimentary canal. The third important function of the epithelial tissue is the excretion. The epithelial lining of different parts of the uriniferous tubules, they help in the ultrafiltration, they help in the secretion, they help also in the reabsorption forming the urine. So they are the part of the excretory system, basically the part of the kidney, and they help in the process of excretion of the waste out of the body. Next important function is the exchange of gases. Now the epithelial tissues which are found basically on the alveoli of the lungs, they help in the exchange of the gases. They allow the diffusion of the gases between the blood and the alveolar air. Next function of epithelial tissue is the movement. Now the epithelia having the cilia. Cilia are the hair-like structures. So the epithelia which is having the cilia, they help in the movement of various types of materials like the dust particles, the mucus in the respiratory tract, the urine, primary urine in the uriniferous tubules, and also it helps in the movement of the ovum in the oviduct. So basically the movement is concerned with the epithelial tissues having the cilia, and they are found in the organs like the ovary, etc. Next important function is the secretion. Now the epithelial tissues which are the part of the glands like the tears, mucus, gastric juices, intestinal juices, they are secreted by the various types of glands, and the function of secretion is performed by the epithelial tissues. So basically the epithelial tissues which are found in the glands help in the secretion of various types of substances. The epithelial tissue which is the part of the sex organs like the testis and the ovary, they are known as the germinal epithelium, and they produce various types of male and female sex cells. So the germinal epithelium is found in the ovary as well as the testis. Now, the various types of sensations. The sensory epithelium is specialized to receive various types of sensation. Now, the sense organs of the body, like the nasal organ, the nose, or the ear, they have special type of sensory epithelial tissues which help to feel various sensations outside, like outside the body. Next is regeneration. As I told you, the skin is a type of epithelial tissue and it helps in healing of the wounds. Now, healing of the wounds requires again the forming of the new tissues. So, it helps in healing of wounds and injuries due to the high regenerative capacity. And last function of the epithelial tissue is the exoskeleton. Now, the exoskeleton is formed by the structures like the nails, the claws, the scales, the feathers, and the outer epithelial tissue performs the function. So, these many functions are performed by the epithelial tissue, which makes it one of the most important tissues of the body. Again, a quick recap. First is the protection. It protects us from the external environment. Next is the absorption. It helps in absorbing the important materials. Third is the excretion, which helps in excreting certain substances out of the body. Fourth is the exchange of gases, which helps in the exchange of gases between the alveolar air and the lungs. Then the movement, it helps in movement of certain substances inside the body. It is a part of the glands, so it helps in the secretion. It is a part of the sex organs like the ovary and the testis, so it helps in formation of the gametes also. It helps to sense various types of things or senses, so it is a part of the nose and the ear and performs the function of sensation. It forms the major part of the skin, so it helps in healing of the wounds. And lastly, it forms the structures like nails, claws, feathers, so it acts like a exoskeleton of the body. Next, we are going to discuss about the various types of the epithelial tissues. Now, if we divide the epithelial tissues into the four categories, first will be the arrangement of the layers. Next is the cell shape, and last is the function. On the basis of the arrangement of layers, the epithelial tissues can be simple epithelial tissues and the stratified epithelial tissues. Now, what is the difference between these two? Simple is formed of one layer, stratified is based on many layers. Based upon the cell shape, the epithelial tissues can be of three types: the squamous epithelial tissue, the cuboidal epithelial tissues, and the columnar epithelial tissues that we are going to discuss in the coming slides. And based upon the functions, it can be of the following types, like the sensory epithelial tissues, the germinal epithelial tissues, ciliated epithelial tissues, and the glandular epithelial tissues. So let us start first with the type of epithelial tissues on the basis of arrangement of layers. The simple epithelial tissues and the stratified or the compound epithelial tissues. Now see, this is the structure of the basic epithelial tissues, which is simple. As you can see, it is made up of only one layer. So the epithelial tissues which are made up of only one layer of cells, they are known as the simple epithelial tissues, and you are always going to find the epithelial layers on the basement membrane, as we have already discussed. The next is the stratified or the compound. Now you can see many layers of cells which are arranged on the basement membrane. So this type of tissue is the stratified or the compound epithelial tissues. So that one was simple. On the basis of arrangement of layers, we have two types of tissues, the simple and the stratified. Next, we are going to start on the basis of cell shapes. Now this one is a bit complex. The squamous epithelial tissues. Now, the cells which are thin, flat, polygonal in shape with the central bulgings, they have the flat nuclei, and this type of cells are known as the squamous epithelial tissues. These type of tissues are also known as the pavement epithelium, PAVEMANT, pavement epithelium, because the cells fit together like the tiles of the floor. Now, these squamous epithelium, they can be of two types, the simple and the stratified. This is the structure of the squamous epithelium. You can see here the central bulging, the nucleus, and the basement membrane. Now, where are the epithelial tissues? They are found in the lung alveoli, where they help in the exchange of gases, as we have discussed. They are found in the Bowman's capsule, where they help in the excretion. They are found in the blood capillaries, so they help in the transportation also. Regarding the stratified squamous epithelium, basically they are found in the regions where there is regular wear and tear, so that the basement membrane helps in adding of the new tissues again and again. So these type of tissues, the stratified squamous epithelium, are basically found in the buccal cavity, the pharynx, esophagus, and the skin. The skin is the important organ which has regular wear and tear. Next comes the functions of the squamous epithelial tissues. The first function is the ultrafiltration, as they are lining the Bowman's capsule. So basically in the kidney they are going to function as in the function of ultrafiltration. Next is the protection, and this is the most important function of the squamous epithelial tissues. Being the surface layer, the epithelial tissue also protects the underlying structures from the mechanical injuries, desiccation, microbes, and various types of toxins. Third important function is the exchange of materials. So in the blood capillaries, as we have discussed, the covering epithelial tissues allows the exchange of materials between the blood and the other tissues. Next is the exchange of gases. When they are found in the alveoli of the lungs, the squamous epithelial tissues, they allow the exchange of the gases between the blood and the air. And last, the abrasions. The stratified squamous epithelial tissues, as we have discussed, is going to provide the protection against the mechanical stress and the aberrations by slogging off the outermost layers of the cells. The next type of tissue on the basis of this shape is the cuboidal epithelium tissue. Now, these types of tissues, they are made up of compactly arranged cells which appear squarish in the vertical section and they appear polygonal in the surface view. This is the basic structure. So you can see that they appear squarish and polygonal. Now, sometimes the microvilli may occur on the free surface for increasing the absorptive area of these types of tissues. They can also be of two types, the simple and the stratified. Again, it can be made up of one layer or it can be made up of many layers. These type of tissues, they have the nucleus which is rounded, and this rounded nucleus is centrally placed in the cell. Regarding their location, they are found in the uriniferous tubules, they are found in the germinal layer of the sex organs, they are found in the thyroid vesicles, they are found in the small salivary and the pancreatic ducts. Now the functions of the epithelial tissue. The first and the most important function of the cuboidal epithelial tissue is the secretion, excretion and absorption. The cuboidal epithelial tissue takes part in all the three as they are the part of these types of organs. Second, as we have told that they are found in the germinal layer of the sex organs, so they form the gametes also. And lastly, the stratified cuboidal epithelial tissue, they provide the mechanical support. And the last type of epithelial tissue based upon the shape is the columnar epithelium. Now, this columnar epithelium is different from other types of tissues, other type of epithelial tissues, because the nucleus is oval and it lies near the base. Secondly, like the other epithelial tissues, the columnar cells may be simple or stratified. So there can be many types of columnar cells, like they can be ciliated, non-ciliated, they can be simple, they can be stratified. But the most important type of columnar epithelial cells is the simple, and the differentiated is one, the pseudo-stratified epithelial tissues. Now the simple, they are the columnar cells which are arranged near each other. But in the pseudo-stratified, you are going to find that they appear stratified, but they are not stratified. They are not layers arranged one above the other, but these are the cells you are going to find which are arranged in such a manner that they appear stratified. So this is the pseudo-stratified. Also, they have the cilia, which helps in maximum absorption. They can also have the microvilli, which helps in the absorption of the substances. Now, where are these columnar epithelial tissues found? They are found in the lining of the stomach, in the intestine, and their glands. The pseudo-stratified which we have seen, these type of epithelial tissues are found in the nasal and the genital tracts. Now, the functions of the columnar epithelial tissues. The first function is the absorption. As they are lining layer of the intestine, the columnar epithelial tissues which help in the absorption of the nutrients. The second is the mucus. As we have seen in the figure, they have the cells which are known as the goblet cells. So these type of goblet cells are modified columnar cells which produce the mucus. Next is the glandular epithelial tissues. So it is a component of most of the glandular epithelia. And last is the protection. So being a surface layer, it also protects the underlying tissues. These are the goblet cells, and these goblet cells helps in the secretion of various types of mucus. What this mucus does, it helps to protect the underlying tissues. Now, based upon the basis of the specific function, the epithelial tissues can be of four types: sensory epithelial, germinal epithelial, ciliated epithelial, and the glandular epithelium. First, we are going to start with the sensory epithelium. Sensory epithelium is the part of the various sense organs. It is also known as the neuroepithelium. It consists of various special columnar cells which possess the sensory hair on their free surface. Now, these are the hair-like structures, and this is the columnar epithelium. The epithelium picks up the external stimuli with the help of its hair, and then it passes it to the basement membrane, which in turn passes it to the nervous tissues. Next type of epithelial tissue is the germinal epithelium. Now, this germinal epithelium, it helps in the formation of various gametes. So, it occurs basically in the gonads like the testis or the ovary, and it helps in the formation of various types of gametes. Next is the ciliated epithelium. Now, it can be of the columnar type also or the cuboidal type also. Basically, it is any type of epithelial tissues which have the cilia on their surface. Now, the ciliated cuboidal epithelium, it is found in the sperm ducts and the uriniferous tubules. The ciliated columnar, which we are seeing in the figure, they are found in the lining layer of the respiratory tracts and the oviducts. What is the function of this cilia? The cilia produces a current in the liquid medium. So it pushes the ovum in the oviducts. The respiratory tract is cleared of the mucus, which is having the dust particles and the microbes, with the help of the ciliary activity of the epithelial cells only. And last, we have the glandular epithelium. Now, the glandular epithelium is often infolded to form the various multicellular glands, and these glands, they secrete various chemical substances like the sweat, if they are present in the sweat glands, oil, if they are present in the oil glands, enzymes, if they are present in the digestive glands, Also, they secrete various type of hormones if they are present in the endocrine glands. So this was all about